Welcome back to the Jacob Wright podcast. In this episode, I sit down with Dr. Stephen McClenny, a large animal veterinarian, mentor, and longtime friend. Dr. McClenny is the definition of a cowboy veterinarian, and when I was a kid, my dream was to become him. I shadowed him for many years, thinking I would follow the same path into veterinary medicine, becoming a large animal cowboy veterinarian. That did not happen. In this conversation, we catch up as friends. I share where life has taken me into startups, failing startups, business, and AI. And we talk through many big topics: business, culture, tech, religion, and what it means to stay focused on your goals, especially as a young man in today's world. Enjoy the conversation.
Got it? Got it. Well, cheers. Thanks for having me. Been good, but a long time. Like watching you grow up.
Well, yeah, you've been a mentor of mine for a long time.
Tried to be.
Yeah, so the purpose of this conversation is sort of to talk about how when I was a kid and my goal to be a kid or as a kid was to be you. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the large animal vet. I wanted to have this property, not this property, but a property like it, and live your life. And unfortunately, I didn't get into vet school for maybe not studying hard enough, but now I'm on a much different path, and it's nice to be able to come back and have nostalgia.
Well, I appreciate it, Jake. I'll tell you what. I really wanted you to go to vet school because I knew it was in your heart.
Yeah.
Things didn't work out. Toughest school in the country to get into, UC Davis.
Yeah.
But you're on a better path, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see in the end.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. You got to keep the maybe. Yeah. It's been an interesting time. You asked me about where I'm living. So we were living in San Diego. Right now we're in a transition. And on Saturday, lo and behold, you're never going to believe it, we're moving to the Bay Area.
Okay. You're on your own, man. You're on your own.
I know, but seriously, yeah. I never thought I would live in San Diego, much less never thought I'd live in the Bay Area.
Big cities, no parking, no pickup trucks.
I don't have a car.
Yeah, you got a car. Motorized roller skate, I call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And you asked about business. To recap the last 3.5 years, I went to business school, you know that.
Correct.
Graduated and said, hey, I'm going to expand, partner with the vet in SLO, and said, let's expand this mobile practice, but for small animal operations, and do more on-demand type delivered vet care, which was everything that you were doing, but for small animal owners in cities. And we expanded, we went through a bunch of changes, tried a bunch of things, opened a location up in Oregon, opened a location in Vegas, opened a location in San Diego. All of them have since closed. But what I learned from that, I think the biggest things, at least from a vet perspective, was that, especially starting a practice, the owner must be a vet or maybe a tech, but they have to be able to go see patients. Whereas if it's me, who's not a vet, sure, I can manage it and order inventory and do all of that. But at the end of the day, I couldn't go see patients.
And that presents a problem, especially if you do, and there's a huge demand for this, end of care, end of life, mobile veterinarians, huge demand for that. But you got to be a licensed vet because of the drugs and the paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. Huge demand for that. But that's something that you can't do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think watching you and riding along with you for so many years, I went into it feeling that even if I wasn't a vet, I had enough experience watching you as a business owner or watching other vets as business owners saying, okay, I understand the logistics. I understand this is how you schedule. This is how you interact with clients and deal with patients. But I was just naive to the fact of I was stuck as an administrator. I couldn't be a care provider. I couldn't be a vet.
Well, you had two strikes against you. First off, your age and experience. Okay. And the second is so much paperwork with being a vet. I'll give you a good example. So physicians normally practice only 3 days a week. The reason they do is they have 2 days or maybe 3 days a week. They have to do paperwork, refill prescriptions, make phone calls, schedule appointments. They have other people that help them do that. But so much paperwork with it that if you see somebody for 15 minutes, you have 15 minutes worth of paperwork to deal with.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which leads me to what I'm doing now. You asked sort of what I'm doing. So officially, as of about a month ago, I stepped away from the practice group. I said, I'm done. I'm leaving. We left on great terms with everybody, with the partners and with the doctors, good relationship. But I was watching these practices get eaten alive by what you're talking about, which is the admin. And me, I was a expense just sitting on the profit and loss statement, just monthly. Go to him, like pay him, but I'm not bringing in any money. Sure, I'm doing admin work like you're talking about, but I'm not able to go take care of another patient. What I'm doing now are building AI employees that do all of that do all of the admin.
And there's need for that because everything's gone to the internet. Now, artificial intelligence, that can help a lot until you get to controlled substances.
Sure. Yeah.
And that presents a problem. More paperwork. People got to sign. But if you're a small animal vet, and I'm not, but if you get $1, 90 cents of that goes to administration, cost, overhead, building,
drugs, all of it. Yeah.
Unemployment expenses, match their Social Security on their wages.
Yeah.
You're almost not working for much at all.
Yeah. Especially these smaller group practices. Maybe you own one practice or you're part of a group that has 5 practices or maybe 10, but that range is getting eaten by overhead. And there's technology today that can just do it without even having to look at it.
Exactly. That's why big corporations are buying up small animal practices. And they figured, you know what? A successful business can make 10 or 15% of their gross. That's successful. And most people that get wages don't understand that. If you're getting paid $25 an hour, it costs the employer $35 or $40 an hour to pay you that 25. They don't understand that. It's all about economics. And if you're doing 10 million bucks a year and you're keeping $1 million,
that's a pretty good year.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
And so the people think, wow, you made $1 million, but it costs you $9 million to make that $1 million.
Yeah. So that is what I learned, and that is the direction I'm headed now, hence the move to the Bay Area, which will be a big change. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot recently is when I was growing up, when I was shadowing you, getting mentorship, walking around the property, taking care of the property, I was always dreaming or thinking or trying to manufacture a way to be able to create my own McClenny Ranch or my own, all the ranches we used to go to. We would go out all back here and see these amazing properties. And I kept thinking, well, how can I have that for me. And at least right now, I don't think there is a way other than going to a city and creating a career and then coming back to an area like this. At least in today's economy, I don't think.
It's tough, but I remember my ag teacher, Mr. Dake. He said, if you tell me you don't have time, you're wrong.
Time for what?
Anything. Didn't matter. You make the time to do what you need to do or want to do. It's always in your schedule. You can make the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's basically what I'm doing. But now the floor is open. I want to share the stories that you used to share with me with the audience.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about your guns first. So you got them back.
I got them back.
Okay.
Finally, after 10 years of
Garbage.
unfortunate, contentious divorce.
Yeah.
Got everything back. Most all my possessions back. More for, not necessarily me, but more for my daughter, Megan. Yeah, I got the ranch back. I had to buy it back from bankruptcy court. And I didn't go bankrupt. That's the most important part. Anyway, so, no, I'm happy. I mean, obviously, I'm an old guy. Been doing this for, 39 years as a vet. And I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I enjoy being a vet. It was my dream when I was 12 years old, maybe 10. I don't know. Unusual for somebody that young to know exactly what they wanted to do. And I'm not going to say I made it happen, but I kind of did.
Yeah. After vet school, you went and did the pack mule.
Yeah, I worked at Rock Creek Pack Station. Yep.
And then got some experience there as a vet, basically working as a ranch hand or packing.
No, I did more
But
experience as a packer.
Yeah.
You know.
When did you move here?
I moved here in 1992. So I leased this ranch in 92. And in 2005, they decided to sell. Market was going up. And so I lived here 13 years, maybe, leasing the place. And then I finally bought it. And so I've been here since 1992.
And then over that time since 92, what have you seen change in Paso? I mean, I've seen a lot change in Paso.
Okay, so 1992, gridlock. And I mean complete gridlock at the corner of Union Road and 13th Street. Was 3 cars at the stop sign. That was gridlock. I think there might have been 5 stoplights in Paso at the time. If somebody had told me it's going to be sushi bars and wine bars in downtown Paso, I'd have told them they were crazy. If you needed anything on any day of the week, Monday through Saturday, at 5:01 p.m.,
SOL.
you were done unless you wanted to go to the rodeo bar or the cattleman's lounge, Paso Inn. That was it. Sundays, town closed. You could shoot a shotgun down Spring Street and you wouldn't hit anything. Not today. All these hills around here were either farmed with barley or had cows on them, or both. Now they're all vineyards, and now they're tearing them all out.
Because people aren't drinking wine?
That's part of it. We won't get into the wine industry, but yeah. Economics have changed in this area significantly. But Paso is still a tourist destination for all the wine venues and this and that. What destroyed downtown Paso, personal opinion, is when Walmart came in.
Why is that?
So when Walmart came in, all of the mom and pop stores downtown, shoe stores, Hallmark store, stationery store, all the Rexall drugs, all of these little stores, mom and pop stores, shut down because Walmart had the same thing. And people went to the cheapest.
True. That's also just part of the country in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Times are changing, development, I understand that.
Yeah. Not that it's a good thing, but that's just what has happened.
Can't stop change.
Yeah. What do you think of the path in general of people and culture and society today?
Don't ask that.
I'm asking that.
No.
Yes.
No.
Let's
don't
get into
it. Ask any kid somewhere between 10 and 35 to read script, write cursive. Not going to happen.
Between 10 and 35?
Yeah.
I can write in person.
Okay. You can. Well, you went to special school. I know that. Same school my daughter did. Don't know why. Maybe they don't want to teach cursive or script. Maybe because the founding documents are written in script and they don't want them to read them.
Yes. However, also just the nature of how people interact is all technology.
It's all technology. So people don't know how to punctuate.
Yeah.
They don't know how to write a sentence, subject, predicate. They don't understand any of that because everything has gone to text.
Text or...
Yeah. So like if it was your birthday, I'm going to call you.
Sure.
People your age or younger are going to text.
Yeah.
That's informal. Me calling you is personal. They've taken the personal thing out of society.
Yeah, I see. There's a stat right now that caught my eye that apparently men, 45% of men between the ages of 18 and 25 have never in person approached a female if they're straight. They've never said, hey.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
I mean, that's prime dating years.
Yeah,
everybody's
exactly.
Pretty
I mean,
up
you got the hormones going, you know. I got no idea on that one.
Well, they're just glued behind phones. It's like
I talk to people all the time that have employees. They're younger, less than 30, and idle time, nothing happening. They're on their phones. Why don't you dust over here? Why don't you go sweep the floor over there? Why don't you go check the bathroom? Take out the garbage. Why don't you do something, quote, productive for the job that you work for?
Yeah.
They don't. They're on their phone. And if you interrupt them, they're torqued. They're not happy.
Yeah, it's weird. It is a weird time. And I don't know. I felt maybe a year ago or 2 years ago now that we've determined a path as society, and I don't know when it was. I have my own assumptions, but in time, if we're on time continuum as a human species, we had a decision point and we decided to go one way, and we're on that path. and we're just going to see where it goes. You just said you can't stop change, but we're on that path. And I just feel that.
Let's not talk biblical.
Well, I don't know what's happening.
No, let's not talk.
Well, why not?
It's written. Don't talk about it.
Because people can't read it?
Yeah, they can read it. But the thing is, with the Bible, you have to have the Holy Spirit in you in order to understand. So if you don't have the Holy Spirit, you will not understand anything in the Bible. This won't happen. It's written for somebody that understands the Holy Spirit within them. They can read and understand the Bible. But a lot of passages are taken out of context and used in a bad fashion.
Oh, sure. I mean,
and you have to remember, God told the devil, you got the world. It's yours. Do with it what you want. And he has.
On religion, now that we were on this topic, I've also been thinking a lot, and you probably had this in your own life at some point. I've been thinking a lot about all these different sects of religion. You have Christianity, Catholicism, all the forms of Buddhism, or all the other ones. I don't even know. And something that I've been thinking a lot about is I've been questioning, is there truly one right religion? And here's my, before defending or making a stance, my thought is this. Imagine that we live in a world where there are no phones or internet. And you grow up in a super remote town in India. Okay. And you're raised in a very strict or righteous household, but in their religion. And you're raised in that religion, and you grow up, and in your mind, that is religion. I mean, that's all there is. You've never been experienced or even seen another path. How, according to the Bible, maybe there's a interpretation that would say, well, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're not going to get accepted to heaven. But that person never even was introduced to Jesus Christ.
And that is the whole reason that, quote, Armageddon hadn't happened yet.
What's Armageddon?
Jesus coming back.
Oh, yeah.
He's not coming back until everybody has heard about him. So here's the other thing about that. You know what the most, actually I wouldn't say the most, the number one selling book in the world for the last 700 to 800 years is?
Probably the Bible.
It is.
Yeah.
Reason for that. Okay. So a lot of people would say, okay, the Native Americans, the Indians, didn't hear about Jesus or God, right? All people throughout the world believe in a higher authority.
Sure.
The Holy Spirit, in different, Christians, we say Holy Spirit, part of the Trinity, but they believe in the Holy Spirit, a higher authority.
Sure.
All religions do. And it's called faith. So I won't get into a big argument. I've got a lot of understanding and education about it. But there are other religions that I'll use, quote, Christianity. Christianity is a potential, okay? They're cults. I'll use Mormons as an example. They rewrote the Bible. They're not supposed to do that. They added a book to the Bible. They have their own traditions. And that's a key word, traditions. It's not by works, it's by faith. Jehovah Witness, another. Catholic Church is not far off. Some people contend, not sure I'm with it, that the Catholic Church was devised by Peter, one of the followers of Jesus, probably the number one, defined the Catholic Church, but it went astray. Satan is the great deceiver. Biblically, he's been told that numerous times. Satan took over a lot of cults. Arguably, the Catholic Church. I'm not going to go there, but I'm going to say arguably. Okay? Because it's tradition-based, not faith-based.
Maybe. I would defend the Catholic Church in that you know this. I've grown up in many different churches. I grew up as a child. I went to a Baptist church. I went to a Lutheran grade school with your daughter. Did we go to high school together too?
You and Megan?
No.
She went to Templeton.
Oh, she went to Templeton. Then I went to a Catholic high school, and so I saw a lot of different of these traditions or practices. But the Catholic Church is interesting. There's something that I don't necessarily agree with, or think that you have to go through a hierarchy, maybe. But other things that are more tradition based, but I keep blanking on the word.
There's traditional and faith.
Yes.
Those are the two basic foundations.
It's more, there's certain things that are structured about it.
And that's tradition.
Yes. However, if you participate in the structure with faith, it feels like, what's the right analogy? Going to Catholic Church with faith feels like you are going maybe to do a light workout. You're standing up, sitting down constantly in the church, but you're really focused.
And so why do you do that?
Oh, there's tradition.
No, I know why.
There's tradition.
I know why.
There's all sorts of tradition.
It's tradition.
Yeah. But it feels like you're...
Do you know why Catholic priests are, quote, celibate?
Tradition.
Yes. And here's the real reason. So during the medieval times, you had the Black Death, right? So Peter, founder of the Catholic Church, supposedly, he was married. He had kids. All the Catholic priests, they had their parish. They had kids. During the Black Plague, they died. Now we've got a wife and kids we have to support. Plus, we got to get a new priest in there who's probably got kids and a wife.
Too expensive.
Too expensive. So from now on, Catholic priests are celibate, unmarried, no kids.
That's it.
Strictly economic. Had nothing to do with the Bible. Nothing.
Interesting stuff. So we're done. Yeah, we're done with it. We're done with the religion. Let's go back to artificial intelligence. Give me your hot takes on it. Have you used it? Let's start there.
Okay. At the gun shop
that
I manage, had some issues with consignment guns pricing.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm the guy that does it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the hearsay was guns are overpriced.
From customers.
From customers.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
And they're old codgers, older than me, or same age as me. And they remember, you know what? I used to be able to get that thing for about $120 back in 1972. Okay, let's fast forward 50 years. No, it's not $120. Complaining prices too high.
Yeah.
So the owner decided, and his son, let's, instead of, quote, the blue book, which is, quote, the Bible of gun pricing, let's go to AI.
Let's go to ChatGPT or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So we had the meeting here a couple of weeks ago, and Tuesday evening. Okay, fine. What are we doing with this AI? So check in. I said, okay, let's try this guy. Long story short, AI had no clue. It was an old antique Winchester.
Well, I'm sure I had no clue.
Yeah, and kept telling it things. I already priced this thing $2,100. It was a rare gun. Finally, once I said, "Here's the serial number. You got to type it in," which paid me. Here's the serial number, and here's its condition. And, smooth stock, smooth forend, blah blah blah. Oh, well, that's worth $2,100. Started out at $550. And then I said, okay, let's try something common. Glock 19. Everybody's got one, right? Glock 19. I'm buying it from the customer to resell. What should I pay for this gun? We should pay $400. Brand new cost is $450. It's a used firearm. I don't think so.
Disconnect.
Artificial intelligence is in its infancy to the public market.
Yes.
I don't trust it. It doesn't know what it needs to know. The only reason that on that old Winchester, it went back to the blue book. It found the blue book pricing and said, "Oh yeah, that's what it's worth, $2,100."
Looked up the blue book.
Yeah, which I have right here. AI is going to become a big thing.
We're at the infancy.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really odd how fast it changes user behavior. You said, even just now, you said that you have to type in, which is annoying, which is signaling that you want it to be able to.
It's going to be voice command at some point.
Yeah.
And you cannot believe everything it comes back with.
Just like the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like in school nowadays. They don't have books. I mean, scientific books, they don't lie to you. Okay? Read a newspaper, it's going to lie to you.
Sure.
Scientific books don't lie to you. They have no agenda.
It seems there's less and less media, books, articles, publications that don't have an agenda.
It's the times we live in.
Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird. So yeah, back to what I was doing, or what I am doing. I remember one of the times I was riding with you, you were talking about your practice at its most capacity, where you were just working 24/7. And you were talking about what you were saying earlier, which is for every appointment you do, you have an X amount of admin. And so that is what I am working on, is removing that admin, removing me from the equation.
Yeah. Okay. So at one point in time, gross income was in the high six figures. Okay.
As a single doctor vet.
As a single doctor. And I was working 16, 18-hour days. And I had 4 employees at the time. Now I'm a single vet working 70% time and putting more money in the bank than I was.
You're working smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You learned some lessons.
I did.
What does the future of your practice look like? You made a joke earlier that you are working until you're dead so that you can give this place to your daughter.
That's my retirement program. So you know what my retirement program is?
What's that?
Jake, when you attend my memorial service, I'm retired.
Or maybe when you get flicked in the other eye with a bull tail.
Yeah, man, this is driving me nuts. It's been a learning curve, being blind in one eye.
Yeah. Full gone.
Depth perception. If I'm up close, I'm fine. If I'm walking on uneven ground, not so much fun. Driving at night, no. Driving during the day, I'm okay. Just got to remember, we're bifocal. We look here. I see nothing over here. I have no idea where my arm is. Okay? None. Right there, I see it. Right there, I see it. Right there, I see it. From there, no.
Gone. Into the abyss.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up the recording here. What is some advice that you would give me? And what is some advice that you would give other young listeners and young men in today's world going out and trying to start a career as you are on the tail end of your career?
Figure out what you want to do and go for it. Whatever it takes. If you're broke, you got to sleep on the floor. You're eating top ramen. Whatever you got to do. If your goal is set, make that your goal. Whatever it takes, make it. Always sacrifice to get your goal. I did it. Other people have done it. And more people can do it. They just don't focus on the goal.
I have very clear goals for my life, my career, my marriage. And so now, I guess the confusing part for me is identifying the path to them rather than the goal itself.
It's tough to focus on more than one goal. You have to set the goal. So for men, guys, marriage, kids, all of that is a great thing. Faith is a great thing. But if you want to be able to support all of that, you have to set the financial goal. And if you don't set the financial goal, you will not be able to faithfully complete everything else. You have to set the goal, the financial goal. And I don't care what it is. I know people, my girlfriend, for example, wants to be a nurse now. That's her financial goal. And that's good for $1.50 a year. That's her goal. And she'll complete it probably in a couple, 3 years. That's her goal. When you set the goal, everything else takes a wayside. Set the goal. When I was in my 20s, going to college, could I have a lot more fun? Yes, I could have. At the expense of putting my goal to the side.
You probably have witnessed this right now in my generation, your daughter's generation. There's a trend for younger people to just travel or have a job, leave a job, go travel the world.
My daughter's a great example of that. Travels all over the place. Just got a new job. So that's good for her. Like I said, times change, she's got to check in someplace, either LA or New York, but great for her. And she's 25. Those things didn't exist when I was young.
Yeah. Do you regret at all between your age of 20 and 40 sacrificing or leaving opportunities, experiences, vacations, whatever it may be, for your goals at the time?
Yes.
So then how do you still then say commit to the goal, even though you have those regrets?
I made my goal. Okay. Became a veterinarian. That was my goal. Okay. Then raise family and have a house and ranch and on and on. Completed that. Did I not do things I really kind of wanted to do? Yes. Have I become accustomed to that? Answer is really kind of yes, with some reservation. So would I like to retire and go do a lot of things I'd really like to? Yes, I'd like to. Am I going to? No. Back to the commitment to my daughter.
To the goal?
Yeah. I'm not selfish in that way. Now, do I take care of myself, occasionally? Yeah, I do. Do I take vacations? Not really. But I do what I want.
Yes. When you want.
And when I want. And that's a nice thing about being self-employed. I schedule my time. And if I don't want to do it, I don't. And if I want to just jump on a tractor and deal with my ranch.
Push some dirt around.
And it's fun. It's my decompression.
Yeah. Well, I will have to let you know actually, I'll see you in September. I'll let you know how the city is treating me. Because I don't know if I told you this, but we're moving on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
To the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. I know I'm going to need it.
Well, at least you don't have a truck, so you can find a parking spot.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bike.
Yeah, I heard about those contraptions.
You heard about bikes?
Yeah, I heard about them.
What'd you think of them?
Got no use for them. You're on your own in the city.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I don't like it. It's like when I got to go to LA for my eye.
Oh, well, that's a different, I mean.
No, I have somebody drive me.
LA's bad. LA's bad.
Yeah, well, the Bay Area ain't much better.
I'm not even living there yet, but I would say it's a little.
Okay, so in LA, I figured this out because I practiced up in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Yeah, first got out of vet school for 5 years.
Remember.
LA, they go 90 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden it's parking lot.
Yes.
Bay Area, they go 90 miles an hour, and then everybody gives signal. They say, okay, jump on your brakes and slam on the brakes for no reason. And then they go 90 miles an hour and then jump on their brakes again. At least in LA, if you're going 90 miles an hour, they slow down. Okay, we're going 5 miles an hour. Okay, everybody go 90 miles an hour for the next 20 miles. We're fine.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like driving.
You're in San Diego.
Yeah. I was down there. Yeah. Driving through LA was interesting. I made that trip.
As far as I'm concerned, LA starts at Cuesta Grade and ends in Tijuana. Everything in between is LA.
Oh, you've been to San Diego. You know San Diego is not.
Cuesta Grade to Tijuana, that's LA.
Oh, man. I have to disagree with that one. San Diego is its own little gem.
I'm sure there are parts of it that are nice, but no. South and West are great. I got no use for it.
South and West grades LA.
Including San Luis. I went to school there.
Yeah. Yeah. How can you say St. Louis is LA?
It's LA. Go down there, drive. You're on your own, man.
Yeah. Well, Dr. McClenny, as always, thank you for the conversation.
Nice seeing you, Jake.
I appreciate your time and mentorship and always answering my phone call.
Always do.
Okay.
You've been a good friend for a long time.
As have you. Cheers.